Abstract classes and methods as well is something that we just got in Godot 4.5. So I just wanted to go over like how you actually use these and some reasons why you might want to use these. So getting started, an abstract class is basically just a base class that isn't meant to be instantiated directly, but it's rather meant to serve as, like I said, just kind of a base where other classes can inherit from it. So a super common example is like if I had a class name right here and I made an animal class. Now, an animal class would be really beneficial if I had like a dog class and a cat class as well, because I could obviously like keep consistent logic in my base animal class here. But an animal isn't really something that you'd ever want to just instantiate directly. So this would be a perfect place for an abstract class. And the way I define that is just by typing the @abstract keyword above the class definition. And now this marks animal as an abstract class, meaning once again, I cannot instantiate an animal. It's just meant to be used as a base. So there are a ton of like really minor benefits to using this pattern, but the one I like the most is Godot will actually warn you and show you messages / errors when you use a class incorrectly in this way. So let's say I had a new function and it was called make sound, right? And animals typically have a sound that they make, right? But it's going to be unique for every different animal. So basically I just want to define this function in my base class and then have every child class or animal that extends from this define its own method for actually making sound. And to really solidify this pattern into my like game logic, this would be a great place to use an abstract function. So I can actually type the abstract keyword above my function definition, just like I did with the class. And then I just have to remove the colon at the end of the line. And this will now mark this function as abstract, meaning I can't call it directly on my base class, but it's meant to be overridden in any class that extends from this. So knowing this, let's make my dog class next. So I'm going to make a new script. We're going to inherit from my animal class here, and I'm going to call this script dog. And right away you can see this is what I really like. It says failed to load dog with a parse error. And you can see in the output here, we got a couple errors. So it says dog.gd must implement animal.makeSound. And it gives that error twice for some reason. And then it also says fail to load, and that's just because we need to actually define a class name because we're extending an abstract class. So I really like that because I typically have a lot of classes that need to override a specific method. So just having this built-in warning here is super helpful. There was a previous way I would do it where I would kind of like assert the base class method, and then it would kind of automatically generate a warning, but this is much cleaner. So the abstract system is definitely a huge upgrade to that. But editing my dog script, I'm just going to add my class name. So I have class name dog, extends animal, and then I still get that warning in the script editor as well, which is super nice. So it says dog must implement animal.makeSound, and all I have to do is override that superclass method. So I would say function make sound, and then make sure I'm returning void here. And then in here, I guess we'll just say print woof, not woof. There we go. So that's the basics of using like an abstract class and an abstract method. Now, I also just realized this script is named game.gd, so I'm going to rename this quick. But if I went into my game.gd script, which is now attached to this node, and the last test I wanted to kind of showcase is actually instantiating these classes. So if I wanted to, let's say, make a new dog animal and set this equal to the dog class .new. This is going to work because dog is its own class. It's not abstract. But if I wanted to do the same thing with like a new animal, once again, abstract classes cannot be instantiated directly. So this is going to throw an error here. You cannot do this, which makes sense. I mean, most of you probably caught on to that. So now that we understand the basics of abstract classes and methods, there's one more pattern that I really want to show because I run into this a lot. So I've set up 3 different scripts here. I have a super basic skill system. So I basically have this skill script, which is meant to be instantiated as a resource. And a skill is something that you'll be able to attach to like an entity, maybe for a turn-based RPG or something like that. And when you activate the skill, I want to loop through all of the effects that are attached to the skill and make sure to trigger those and actually activate the skill, right? So really quick example use case. I want to make a new skill. So I right click, create new resource. This is going to be my skill resource, and I'm just going to call this attack, just a basic attack I want to add. And all this is going to do is apply damage. So I have a script that is skill effect apply damage, and this one just gives a damage amount and applies that to the target. But I want to add this into my list of effects for my attack skill. So I'm going to go into the inspector, and here's my array. So I add a new element, And you can see this list populates with everything that extends from my skill effect class. So I have skill effect, and then I have apply damage skill effect. And that's an issue because right now I'm using the skill effect script as a base class. The only purpose of this script is just to provide a template that I can use for any other skill effects that I might create later. So ideally, I do not want it to show up in this list. And that's something that abstract classes actually fixed. So again, like I did before, I'm going to actually apply the @abstract keyword here, and then also do this for my function and make sure to delete the body. And now we have an abstract base class, which means it's not going to show up in that list. So if I go to now create a new skill effect on this attack skill, it's only going to populate with non-abstract classes. So only my apply damage skill effect, which is good because we never want to put just a random like base template skill effect resource into this list of skill effects. Now, actually, when recording this, I just cut it out, but I had a ton of errors pop up when I tried to create a skill effect in there, and I'll cut the error and put it on screen right now. But I found that really interesting. I reloaded the project and it took away the error. It just worked afterwards. So I'm sure there's going to be a couple issues with abstract classes that'll be ironed out in the next couple of versions of Godot. So I'm assuming you're going to have to restart your projects if you do run into those. For me, that fixed it, but let me know if you guys have any issues in the comments with it. And with that, that's going to do it for this video. Quick shout out to all the channel members. Thank you so much for all your support. And if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. But with that, I will see you in the next video.